Welcome, dear friends. Here we are at Cardiac Radio, another day or night. 10 exercises on peacemaking skills. And we are here with you to discuss tonight recipes for peace. Recipes for peace. Who doesn't need it? I do too, right? We all need it. And but I'm not alone in both realms. And in the incarnate realm, besides you guys who are here with us, we have with us Leo Vieira. Yuppie! Leo Vieira is here with us directly from the greater Baltimore area. You know him. He's our friend and at the SSB. And he also has a program that continues running at Cardiac Radio, a beautiful programs that he run also with his family on the book Our Father, right, Leo?
The
One of the
mainly
books.
the way, the truth, and the life right now.
So, how are you, Leo?
I'm doing great, thank you. Glad to be here with everyone. Having this great opportunity to show my face. Please don't be scared. And meet some of you live with Vanessa here. It's just a pleasure to be here with all of you.
But many people already know you because of the the the, the transmission, the Spiritist Network,
Yes,
the
yes, yes, yes.
webcasting at the SSB, etc. So, you know, Leo, that we are doing this 10 days of peacemaking skills because, one, we're living a critical time on the earth that makes us recall that passage that Jesus said, Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. And blessed are the peace loving or peacemakers, for they are true children of God. But in our daily lives, it doesn't come second nature. Like, oh, I'm gonna be such a loving person, peacemaker, and meek and forgiving. And it doesn't come out quite like that. But we really need to change it. And I'm gonna say this because we see in our political leaders of all sorts, having attitude that is not peacemaking, that is not meek. On the contrary, and they don't see the gravity of it. But we are so alike, Leo, because we also do things and we undermine the effects on other people's lives, unfortunately. And that's
Mhm.
why we're here. And I'm saying we, including myself. And that's why we are here together, right, Leo? Because we really need to ponder the consequences of each thought, each feeling, each word, each action. Nothing is small. Everything interferes in a chemical reaction and in our lives. Right, Leo?
That is so true, Vanessa, and I think you touched on a very interesting point because we all in need of it. And more and more, I'm actually certain that we need moments like this. And I would like to say this in a way that we truly have to at least understand our conditions. Mainly looking at ourselves and saying, look, I'm not the most peaceful person. I'm not the loving person yet. We'll get there. And because we have a moment like this, we're walking little by little together. We're emphasizing the goodness that Joanna de Angelis and many other spirits brings to us, other mentors here incarnated on earth that actually has walked the extra mile with us, and they're doing better in this sense. So it is important for us to have a moment like this. It is important for us to be able to understand the suffering of others as much as we're trying to understand our suffering as well.
Exactly. And Leo, we have a beautiful community here, and you're part of it too. And I probably am not seeing everyone, but some of you are here. Lea Severo, dear friend, Simone. By the way, Simone Neto is part of the Love and Charity Spiritist Center in Orlando. And every week, a few times a week, I'm not going to recall exactly, probably Lea Severo knows more. She knows more than I. But we are streaming the latest episodes that are produced by the team at the Love and Charity Spiritist Center. So beautiful works are coming along, and thank you, Simone, thank you, David, thank you, everybody there. Danny and Eric are here, my dear cousins of the heart, and sunshine. I can see those who I can see. Not because I physically, my eyes are not able to see, but the system sometimes does not show everybody. But it doesn't matter. What is important is that we're cultivating every night this goal. It's the gym of the soul. So it's like a very peaceful boot camp. If I I don't think boot camps are peaceful, but let us make one that is peaceful, aiming at working the muscles of our meekness, of our kindness, of our gentleness. Leo, you know me for a while, and you know how I've been progressing. I hope.
The both of us.
But, sometimes folks, if though I was born in a spiritist family, this specific awareness, this specific training that we're talking about tonight, how I wished we were more educated towards that end, not only in our families, but I'm saying in our education organizations, schools, etc. Because at home we hear, be kind, be loving, be peacemaking. I was raised that way. But then you go to school and it's like, be the first, be the best.
And
So,
forget the rest. So we can rhyme, right?
exactly. So here's Rudy. Thank you, Rudy, for joining us. Welcome, Leo, for sure. So, um, okay, so Lea Severo is saying that Love and Charity uploaded a new video and Kardec Radio has the audio. Thank you, Leah, for letting us know. We love to have you on board. Hi, Jailton. It's a feeling of we're here. And for those who are not seeing the names, we're not saying anything. We want you to feel this close. Many people, Leo, after the programs, days after, I think they listen to it and then they click, say hi, etc. That's the feeling. And Leo is replying, hello. So, Leo, today, before we go to the message on recipes for peace, preparing for this moments, I got a message that is not yet translated, but just to bridge it to the one we're going to rely upon for the exercises. It's from the book Ceifa de Luz. This book is not yet in English, but it will. Don't worry. Somebody will do it. If not anybody else, will do it. But God willing, of course. He says, Emmanuel says something quite practical. He tells us from the get-go in the message, we need to be careful to not hurt our own conscience. So when we deal with people, listen to this because this is unprecedented. It says we need to be careful not to hurt our own conscience. And what do we do by doing so? We need to police our attitudes, our words, so we can live in peace with our neighbors, securing tranquility inside of us. So here Emmanuel is bringing a completely new concept for us. He's telling us, do your best to live at peace so you do not hurt your own conscience.
Hmm.
How about that, Anlio? Because we often think I'm not going to hurt others, but we forget that the first ones that are being hurt is our own selves.
Vanessa, it's a good point because it many times we forget about ourselves and we engage into discussions and we engage into commentaries or perhaps any escalated emotion. And before we know it, we already lost our minds. We're already fighting and we're already engaging in certain situations that it's at times irreversible, right? There's really not much you can do. But then it's too late. So one of the things that I've been trying to do that truly helps is that really try to find out what is my limitation. What is our limitation? If we cannot keep at peace when we're going to speak, try to walk away for a moment. Kind of clear your head before you say something that you will regret. If you are in a situation that you know that the our actions will not put us in a good position, that we will feel ashamed afterwards, don't do it. Walk away. Learn to know our limitations, and obviously breathe and think before we do it. That to me has been a good exercise in my daily lives. And when I talk to people as well, I try to tell them, look, if it's too hard for you right now, don't do it. Give some thought, think about it, instead of doing something that later on you regret. And I think this idea of hurting ourselves, when you're in the moment, you don't see it that way. But if you give yourself some time, you'll be able to clearly say, look, for position, perhaps now we'll be suffering more. And we will suffer the consequences, and we will be able to be given the opportunity to make amends to the person, to the situation, and whatnot. But it takes time, it takes effort. So why not put the effort into the right condition or position before spoil the whole thing and then having to fix it? So I think Emmanuel's right on this idea of what about us, right? Think about yourself first before it's too late. It's a great reminder.
Yes. And it's interesting because Teresa Castro from Vermont. Thank you, Teresa, for joining us. It's a joy to have you here. Teresa is mentioning about I want to love my tomorrow self. Me too.
That is a nice way to see it. Yes.
Right? And it's important for us to visualize that whenever we postpone the good we need to do today, we are first and foremost postponing our own peace, our own happiness. So reconcile, as Jesus said, and yesterday we discussed with Deborah Belkovitz,
Hmm.
it's about reconciling now. Tomorrow we don't know. What
Right.
if tomorrow something happens and then we're in trouble because we will have to merge and meet again, but we won't be able to find each other that easily. Not only finding, but really getting the proper circumstances. It's going to be just like those scenarios if I leave it for tomorrow. I, those dream jobs, you finally get it. Let's say, you finally get it. And you are like, oh my God, I finally got my dream job. I worked so hard for it. And when you get there, the first person you meet
Hmm.
does not like you. And out of the blue, from the first day to the rest of your days in that company, that person feels the pleasure of creating obstacles for you. And you go home like, what have I done? What have I done? Probably in a previous life, and this is one scenario,
Hmm.
I had the opportunity of making amends, of asking for forgiveness, of doing something, and I didn't. I left it for another moment, and this is exactly what we're seeing here. This is just figuratively speaking one of the cases, just to say, hurry up,
Hmm.
because the time is really running out. Talking about time, Leo, we selected, Leo and I, recipes for peace. You have the book over there, Leo. Can you show it to the people,
Yes,
please?
I do. Right
There
over
you
here.
go. By Joana de Angelis, the mentor. Thank you. By the medium Divaldo Franco, the spirit author Joana de Angelis. The whole book, Recipes for Peace. We selected chapter 2, Love and Peace. Why not? And I would like to ask Leo to read somewhat for us so we can pick up the pace of Joana de Angelis' guidance. And from there on, we can break it down in exercises for peacemaking. Right, Leo?
So just read the whole thing, Vanessa, right now, or just the
Yeah,
first parts of it?
you want to stop and then we make comment and then you go back. Okay?
Sure, sure. She does. It's interesting because she does have some pauses that she actually, as you can see here, if I can show to everyone, um, as she starts this chapter, this let's say teachings for love and peace, she says, discouragement is a poisonous swamp where life's most beautiful hopes are suffocated. Happiness becomes a fire to burn without purpose, often damaging the good works. Systematic fear forms a field where weeds grow and destroy the seedlings of hope. Slander breeds uncountable wrongdoing. Laziness weaves the destruction of labor as much as ill will inspires foolishness. I would like just to take one more, read one more paragraph where she says, violence is discussed with the exaggerated cooperation of the modern vehicles of informatics, stimulating sick minds and psychopathic personalities to slender to hallucinations. So it pretty much is telling what's happening nowadays, Vanessa,
Yeah.
right?
Yes. And I have a summary here of what you said. Forms of cruel violence, which are children of selfishness. So discouragement is a poisonous swamp. Leo, today and yesterday and every day, meeting people through fraternal counseling, consultations, etc. Everybody saying, I'm so discouraged because of the politics in the world, because of this. But that is a poisonous, it's like a burning fire. Everybody's like, no, 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 no. I have to do this, have to do that. Rushing, rushing, rushing.
Right,
Systematic fear, it's precisely what we're living on the earth at this very time, Leo.
right.
Living at a time when people are feeling fear every day, all the time. These are weeds that destroy hope. You remember President Obama said, we can do it? Keep it in mind. No matter who said it, but it said, we can do it, and we can do it meaning we can grab this bull by the horn, which is our own lives, and say, it's going to be fine. We need to tell ourselves, I believe in God. I trust God. And I trust in me too. We need to repeat these affirmations so we don't allow fear to destroy our hopes.
Mhm.
Right, Leo?
Yes, true. But is it this passage? I'm not trying to get out of the context here of what Jonah de Angelis brings to us, but this passage reminds me of the item 11 of the Gospel according to Spiritism, chapter 19. when Kardec will bring to us that faith is the mother of hope and charity. We lose faith. Somehow we don't have this strong faith anymore. The faith that we have is very shaky, right? And then when things like this in life happens, politics, work, as you mentioned, family issues, we everything crumbles. Everything starts losing meaning for ourselves, and then we feel discouraged. We continue with this craziness of going on, going from here to there. That doesn't change because the pace of life nowadays, it's pretty fast, and we have to move fast. There's nothing wrong with that. We have to work. We have to do our things, but then we allow ourselves to be discouraged. We allow ourselves to not even think of our own essence, children of God, creatures destined to be happy. And we, as Joanna de Angelis says, which is in a way scary, it's a good reminder for all of us, the systematic fear. It's
Yes.
not just fear anymore. We systematic think about that we are, I fear this, I fear that. If I go outside, it's going to be raining. What's going to happen to me? Well, just get an umbrella. Things will be fine, like you said. I'm saying this because it's been raining a whole lot in Maryland,
I
but
know
things
too.
will be fine. I cannot control. Why do I have to worry about it? And then this slander, the laziness that comes with it, all the crazy things that we are seeing in life now.
Yeah, and these other 2 points you just mentioned. So she says slander leads to unaccountable wrongdoings. How many people? It's what we tell fake news.
Hmm.
Fake news and slander are all the same. So people think fake news is something of the modern times.
Right.
They always existed and they can destroy a whole life. Read the books 2000 years ago, 50 years later by Emmanuel, through Chico Xavier, and you see the unaccountable wrongdoings that happen due to slander.
To slander.
So if you hear somebody saying to you, oh, I'm not so sure this person, blah, 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 there is one way to know who that person is. And Jesus gave us the recipe. So we make this.
Hmm.
You know the tree by the fruit. So if somebody comes to me and says, but Divaldo Franco, blah, 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 I will say, but Divaldo Franco does what you and I don't do.
Right.
Because while we're talking here, he is there living the comfort of his home, which is not even a home because he lives in the mansion of the way. He doesn't have a private life like we do. And he's 90 years old, traveling, helping people, and receiving not a penny for it. So, believe me, this cannot be true. It cannot be true. Because what he does, and I'm just giving an example, it could be anybody. It could be your relative. It could be a friend. It could be somebody whom you know in your community at work.
Right.
Right, Leo? We need
It is true, Vanessa. In this idea of slander ties to what Joanna de Angelis, when this book was written, obviously the different communication means that we had was not well established yet. She talked about the way violence is discussed with the exaggerated corporation of the modern vehicles of informatics, of the internet nowadays. It's slender, and we see so many posts on Facebook and in different things, different ways on the internet, that it's just amazing what people really didn't say, but it's posted or it's said. This person said this happened that way. And it's pure laziness. To me, it's pure laziness because you could be using your capabilities, your time to post something that is instructive, right? It's that can help people, or just say I love myself. You should love yourself as well, instead of posting something that really is not going to add to anybody's life. So I think this is a good reminder as well to apply to our day-to-day lives, right? Instead of just posting something that is not going to help, post something that will bring people hope, will bring people life, right? I think that's a good reminder for us.
That's a wonderful reminder. And Leo, first thing she says we need to do is love is our best therapy. But what is
Mhm.
this love that she's talking about? Right?
Yes, love is the best therapy. In love in all forms, also, Vanessa, that supports friendship and disseminates hope. The spiritual love that spreads everyone's interest in communal well being. Christian love in active service that develops good works and spreads solidarity. And finally, love that understands mistakes is a copy of the love that re-educates, in the same manner that forgiving love promotes the love that redeems. So, fraternal, spiritual, Christian love. It's amazing how she breaks this down, because some of us may be in a position to give this fraternal love more often. Some of us spiritual, some of us more into this Christian side of it. But all of us have this love to give, have the ability to give something. We're not destitute of like any of this love. It's inside of us, and we have cultivated so much so that we incarnate on earth. Quite often, I catch myself thinking that perhaps, yes, we're in a love of trials and expiation. It's not easy. There are a lot of crazy things going on. But guess what? We have made thus far. So we have to be optimistic because we're here. If not, we would be in some, tougher situations. So I think we need to cultivate that even more. Not now that we know that, look, I mean, we have made this far. Why not continue? Why not, like our friend said, I would like to love, I want to love the me of tomorrow
Mm-hmm.
and really be proactive. What can I do to do so? How can I start my conversation, start my day, start my friendships? Or before I do something, let me think before I act. Be more proactive. I think that is a good reminder for all of us in this idea of disseminating this different types of loves as well.
Yes, Leo. So, recapping fraternal love supports friendship,
Mhm.
disseminates hope. So, let us ask ourselves, where am I in my fraternal love? Am I supporting friendship?
Mhm.
Am I disseminating hope? Am I supporting friendship? Am I disseminating hope? Then, Christian love. The Christian love, or the spiritual love first,
Spiritual.
spreads everyone's interests in the general well being. So, where are we in that regard? Are we spreading people's interests and the general good, the general well being? Where
Mhm.
are we in that regard? Then there's Christian love, which in which we spread solidarity, develop good works. So friends, if somebody is doing a good work, just leave them alone. I'm saying this because often I hear, why are these people doing this? But is that good? Yes. So leave them alone. Do something else. You don't need to clash with those who are doing good works. Leave them alone or join them, but do not put them down because that's the work of inferior spirits.
Or
They
simply take it as an example, right, Vanessa?
Mhm.
Take it as an example and do something similar, or perhaps something that will also bring help to others.
Is it, of course, multiply it,
Hmm.
right? Somebody creates like a school of kindness here. Oh, that's great. I'm going to open another one somewhere else. Wonderful. But what we cannot do is go against it. And I'm saying this because when we talk about this Christian love, Leo, It talks about solidarity. It reminds me when Emmanuel describes the ancient Rome, when this Christian love was promoting the solidarity and the good works, and how the patricians at the time, the Romans,
Hmm.
who were not Christians, they they pushed that idea away, including Senator Publius Lentulus, later Emmanuel, pushed it all away, saying, "What? Solidarity with the poor? Why do we care? People who are sick, why do we care? No, no, no." And that's why tonight, yes, there are many people suffering in the world, but we here have people in our community who are directly engaged with fraternity without borders. Leia Severo, Angelita, many others. So, a reminder to you, go to fraternitywithoutborders.org and see how you can help. It's very easy. And if you want, buy the t-shirts that are just being sold with the name in English, firsthand, Fraternity Without Borders. Send them a message, and please do, because the sale of the t-shirts is going to help the many families there. Beautiful works, and it's also going to be an opportunity for you when you wear it. I have 3 of those t-shirts, not in English yet, but everywhere I go, people are like, "What is it? So beautiful." It catches people attention. And this is what we're talking about. Christian love, developing good works, spreading solidarity, re-educating love, love that understands mistakes. Ah, that's hard. Because we come, right, Leo, from many lives
Yes.
in which a mistake is a mistake and there is no forgiveness. And probably it's one of the first lives that we are like learning to forgive.
That is true. Especially when it comes down to forgive ourselves. It's very hard. It's extremely hard. I think in this reincarnation, this level that we are right now, Vanessa, we're being called to stop and to really think before we continue to act the way we were acting before. Re-educating ourselves, bringing this love in a way that it's reminding us, it's the exercise of reminding ourselves that we are eternal. And with eternity, one of our friends has mentioned it comes the responsibility piece, right? Of what am I going to do now so that we can prepare. Once we start doing that to ourselves and we feel good about it, it's even better for ourselves to do with others as well. This re-education, this idea of promoting love, not the love that sometimes we are also mistakenly taught in the past to say yes, 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 and not have any limits. But the idea that the love that reconstructs, the love that educates, that sometimes is that tough love that we receive from our parents that we complain, but nowadays we know that was important. That was essential in our day-to-day lives. So we can do the same thing in a much more, in a better way, perhaps, than they did with our environments. Let's not just say, at home, at work, or whatever, everywhere we go. So I think it's important for us to reanalyze, stop and reanalyze, because we are eternal. We will go on. So whatever we can do to re-educate ourselves now, the better we'll be in the future.
Exactly, Leo. Rita Di Cassia here, our friend from Atlanta. She's saying that's why it's our responsibility to go on, to do our best. Each day is a special day to live in love. You're so right, Rita Di Cassia. And we have here with us also receiving messages from Carol Correa, Mark Smith. I feel the fraternal love, and the fraternal love feels good. I am learning thanks to your love and support. Thank you, friends. So forgiving love, as Leo is mentioning, promotes love that redeems. Friends, are you inspired? Because the cultivation of love promotes peace. That's what we need. So Right now, as an exercise, visualize the garden of your love and the types of love being flowers. So here we have this diversity, fraternal love. You can visualize the colors of this flower, the flower of fraternal love that is disseminating friendship, supporting friends, disseminating hope. Spiritual love, another flower that is concerned about the well being of everyone. Christian love, another flower we need to cultivate. Yes, we care about everyone, and we want to do good works. And the re educating love
Mhm.
that understands the mistake so we can cultivate the flower of forgiving love that promotes love that redeems us. Let's not forget, we need, in the Gospel according to Spiritism says, chapter 10, mercy is part of this meekness of the soul. And there is no way for us to be meek without forgiving, because mercy is forgiveness. We need to forgive ourselves. So tell yourself, I forgive myself. I forgive for the moments I was unaware of the consequences of my actions. Forgive the person. If you can't say to the person, tell the person in your mind, I forgive you. You deserve to be happy. I forgive you. You deserve to be happy. I forgive you. You deserve to be happy. And we also need to ask for forgiveness.
Mhm.
Please forgive me, for I didn't know what I was doing. So this forgiving love can redeem us. And I know Joana de Angelis, Leo, she says, it's such a beautiful chapter because she outlines 6 uh,
Mhm.
actions as recipes for peace.
Yes,
You want to read it before we discuss?
sure. Contribute to orderliness and peace using the verb to be happy. Speaking to help, spreading moral comfort and guidance for equilibrium. Use thought, protecting yourself against pessimism, giving off mental waves of sympathy, praying in silence. Carrying out good works, even with simple gifts such as shedding some light in the darkness, a glass of cold water for the scaring thirst, a piece of bread proffered to the famished, a grain full of life in a fertile through looking at the future. Each person can offer his best part, given the most important share, which in plain and simple words is love.
Exactly, Leo. So here we are. Joana de Angelis breaking down. So let's go for the first one. Something probably people don't expect. Contribute to orderliness and peace.
Hmm.
And it's funny because, think about our homes. Often people say, I'm not going to pick up this trash. Somebody else will. And then there's a mess. And in the Spiritist Center, it's not on me to do XYZ things. And we leave it to somebody else. And then nobody does it. And
Or
then,
simply, or Vanessa, simply, I'm sorry to interrupt, or simply, some people say, I didn't put it there. It's not my fault.
oh, yeah. You know who says that? Virginia. She's free. And I say, Virginia, yesterday I was cleaning my house because, people think we're in the United States, we have housekeepers. No, I clean my house, I do my laundry too. And then she was with me, and I said, Virginia, can you please help me with this? And she's like, but I didn't do it.
Oh gosh.
But she's only 3 and she
Right.
wanted to watch a cartoon. And I said, Virginia, think about this. Mom is here. I didn't do all this mess. I didn't wear all these clothes that I'm working on the laundry here, but I'm working on it. So I asked for your help. She said, "Okay, mom." And then she did it. But we're just joking here. But
Mhm.
exactly what Leo says. People think it's not me, it's not for me. Why me? And that's when there is a mess. So Joana De Angelis saying, if we want to create a peaceful world, think that you are being called to do the task. Don't leave it for anybody else. Then, 2, speak,
Mhm.
spreading true joy. I think that, Leo, is not a given. We need to practice
True.
because often we are repressed in our joy, especially in some cultures. I remember when I was taught in the United States, no, if you smile too much, people are not going to believe you.
Mhm.
At work, right? They're like, why are you always smiling? And I remember actually one of my bosses saying, but here we're serious. We don't smile. And I said, I do. And I'll keep smiling. But for a while, I was almost sold to that idea that if I'm really professional, I don't spread joy. And then I realized that Spiritism is saying, no, 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 no. You spread the joy.
True.
That's the seriousness of life.
The same, Vanessa, also happens with the man figure that we were taught that the man should be tough, should really be serious, right? And we can cry, we cannot do this, we cannot do that, and we tend to live a very oppressed life. And then when we grow up to be grump people, grump people, literally grump people, because we are always reminded that no, you should be tough. You should, carry on this way, that way. And we forget to smile. We forget to perhaps live life joyfully because we're always in this mode that things has to be this way or that way. And it's only a product of what we are taught. And we're not here to blame the people who thought that way, just like your boss or people who think that way. But we have a choice, as you said. I don't want to be that way. And I think that's one of the things that I like to remind people. Don't be what the other people are telling you to do. Really question in a good way, in a good sense, but be yourself. I think when we lose our identity of being happy, of being courageous, of being whatever we want to do that is productive, that is.
Yes, you're right. So tonight, one of the exercises is I am joyful and I spread joy. If I repeat it, like Emmanuel says, if I seek the good, if I feel the good, if I visualize it, I'll be able to mold it. So you are joy because God created you. Speak to help. That is very interesting. Nowadays, we're so used to lamentations, bitterness. That message that I open by Emmanuel says about this. How often, he says, how many unhappy suggestions we have said that coagulated the brain of our um, family members or beloved individuals, predisposing them to infirmity or to delinquency with our irreflected sentences. So he's saying sometimes we can make people ill just by what we talk. So speak to help. Speak to help or don't speak at all.
Silence can say 1,000 words.
right?
Yes.
So it's an opportunity for us to practice silence. Jesus often was silent. We read in the books by, especially by Humberto de Campos, how often he used silence in many different ways. But as Leo is saying, it can speak more than many words. So we need to practice this wisdom when we're speaking. And when we speak, think, am I going to help if I say this? Am I going to be adding joy and hope? So it's something to remind us. Then four, Joana de Angelis says, spread moral comfort and guidance. I think nowadays this message is so important. Spread moral comfort and guidance.
Mhm.
Mm. Imagine, Leo, if you go to the gym and your trainer or your teacher is depressed, negative, and say, oh, these exercises are so hard. Imagine the teacher.
Mhm.
Oh, this is so difficult. Do you think she or he is going to have any student in the classroom?
Mm,
No.
none at all.
Everybody's like, well, if you're the teacher and you think it's hard, why am I going to try it? I'm out of here. But if, on the contrary, you have somebody who is so motivational, they say, come on, you can do it. Push you harder, push yourself harder. Go, you can do it. You are strong. You're better than yesterday. Da 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 da. Then, when we're spreading this moral comfort and guidance at work, in our
Mhm.
families, going through a tough phase, and for this much, we may be like so negative and so difficult, like, and then we say, I don't know how, but I know we're going to get out of this. I know this shall pass. I don't know how, but it will.
It's contagious too, right, Vanessa? Because once you receive that help, that boost, right? That, if we can call it that way, we tend to do it more when we go through the difficult moments in life, or when those individuals actually go through their difficult moments. They would think the same way. They would have that picture in mind. Look, I've been through tougher things or similar things. This also shall come to pass. So it
Exactly.
is contagious.
I think it's important you say that word, contagious, because there are studies showing that our emotions can stimulate the emotions of others. So we can become triggers of emotions onto people. And we don't need to speak, we just need to vibrate. We are spiritists and we know we vibrate. And that's when it comes to number five. Perfect. It's tied up perfectly in Joana de Angelis' message. Pray in silence to promote optimism. What is
Yes.
it, Leo? Like, pray in silence to promote optimism. What kind of prayer is this?
Vanessa, the one of the things going through this part over here is to truly think or remind ourselves in silence, because we don't have to say, because sometimes when you're going through the turbulences of life, you don't want to, if you say it, people may look at you and think, well, is he okay? But it's to remind ourselves that we are created by the supreme intelligence of the universe. And if that supreme intelligence of the universe created us to be happy, to that we are all destined to be happy, why should I despair? So let's keep ourselves quietly. Let's keep ourselves in prayer, knowing that, having the faith that we mentioned at the beginning, that God is not imposing this on me, but giving me the opportunity to learn, giving me the opportunity to make amends, to receive the forgiveness through good actions. And I think it's just to think about these things, think about how we are beauty in itself, and others too, the situation that we have at hand, the opportunity that we have at hand. So I think this is a good reminder for all of us to connect with God in prayer, connect with our mentors, connect with our spiritual mentors. They're there to help us. They're there to guide us. So why not? Why
Yes.
not? Because
Wow.
sometimes we don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Watch and pray.
What?
Watch and pray.
Exactly. And for those who are watching us, I can't resist to quote, as Leo is saying this, we have this, let me show it to you guys. This book, Thought in Life. Thought in Life, Chapter 2, Emmanuel says, in our minds we'll find the department of desire, department of intelligence, department of imagination,
Mhm.
okay? Slowly joining together the reaches of ideals and sensitivity. So that's when Joana de Angelis is saying to us, when we are praying to promote optimism, we're boosting that imagination, visualizing the good that inevitably is going to come true. If you're living in turmoil now, instead you're brought to the future and connect to the inevitable, as Leo said, beauty that is going to unfold because beauty is harmony. And use your imagination. Imagination is not something that we create out of the blue. It's actually thought creation. So we need to practice more thought creations. As in the book Genesis, Kardec mentions the thought forms, forming thoughts consciously, purposefully. So we visualize people getting along, people being united, people being fraternal, people being kind to one another, people being happy and joyful, knowing that they are loved. If we cultivate that image all the time, we're going to be vibrating peace. And finally, Liu, she says, carry out good works with small, simple gifts. What a balance, huh? Because we think good works like a big thing. And she says, with small, simple gifts. What could they be, Leo?
Anything possibly that we can do well. And simply being a mother, right? Being kind, being joyful with the kids. Someone who knows how to cook. Why not cook for other people?
Yeah.
Someone who knows how to fold clothes, since you mentioned the clothes, doing the laundry. Do, because you do well and you make other people happy, right? We mentioned about being silenced, those who knows how to listen well, those who knows how to say something kind to another person, or a simple touch. Why not? We think that we often think, and it's okay if we want to aim that high to be like Divaldo, Chico Xavier, Mother Teresa. It's a beautiful thing, but guess what? There are many other ways for us to help in society. Just small kinds of act of kindness that we can do that will definitely get us to live a better life. And we all have in our hands, we all have the opportunity to do so.
Yeah, small is not as small. It's not that small when somebody really needs that. For
Mhm.
example, Leo, yeah, who doesn't remember the day when you were working and you forgot your wallet and you couldn't buy your lunch and somebody gave
Mhm.
5, 10 bucks or bought your lunch? Really, that apparently for the person is small, but for you, the one who needed it, it's big. So anything that we can do now, small concessions of our time, because time is not even ours. When people say, but I'm going to give of my time, but time is not yours, my friend. It's a concession of God. So you better be a good uh, uh, um, a person who really uses that time wisely, because we're going to be accountable for it. And finally, Joana de Angelis in this message says, uh, offer your best part and give your most important share. Right?
Hmm.
In somewhere in the message it says it.
Yes, each person can offer his best part, giving the most important share, which in plain and simple word is love. Simply love, right? We think that the huge things of life, no, it's just something small. Give your best share, and that is love. And here we are trying to define love in our philosophical ways, in our scientific ways, and she's breaking it down so simply to us. It's love.
Love. All you need is love.
All we need is love.
All you need is love. And it is. But when you take a shower, love the cells of your body by saying thank you, cells. And teach your children that when they take a shower, hopefully every day saying, by, by saying thank you, cells, for helping me. Thank you, hands. And telling the people or smiling at the people in our home and just contemplating. Kardec says to us in the Spirit book, first chapter, that the proofs of God can be observed when we contemplate nature. But we are nature.
Hmm.
And when you learn to look at others in their face, don't look at the body, the way they are dressed. Please stop it.
Right.
But look at them in the eyes and look at them overall and say, wow, that person is a child of God like me. That person who is my mother, my father, my husband, my wife, my child, and forget about the mind, but it has this connection with us, a friend, a relative, a colleague, and visualize the good that they have in them. It's a way for us to cultivate peace. Because Joanna says it's a way for us to bridge to this total love, and Jesus is the model for us. Jesus never despised anyone. On the contrary, every one of us means the world for him. In all the dialogues, he teaches us that everyone matters. Nobody's more than the other. Not even his mother received a VIP treatment. We never saw any account that Jesus gave VIP treatment to his family, the blood family. He treated everybody equally in terms of rights, of his attention, of his loving care, though to each one he gave the appropriate attention, the needed consolation, the needed care, even if it was just to say something and then leave, to let people reflect. Right? All right?
That is correct.
So here we have Rudy saying, visualize everybody having access to in life book and drinking it. We can't help it, Rudy, but to laugh. Thank you for that one. So Claudia Mesquita, our friend, is here. Always grateful to having you. And Teresa, we read your breakdown, and you're right. We always, before saying it, need to think, is it true? Can I say it in a loving way, being kind? And you're asking about the Dictionary of Emotions. It's by the company Onion Head. Onion. The onion that you
Just
eat.
like the vegetable, yes.
Yeah, the vegetable. Onion Head. If you type it in, if you go to the website harnessinghappiness.org, that's where you're going to find it. Okay. So, Leo, it's already midnight here, and Recipes for Peace really created this joy and the peace inside of us. Would you like to say one final?
Yes, I would like to first of all thank everyone. Thank you, Vanessa, for this beautiful work and all those who are helping on the web as well. And the disseminating this beautiful message at this time of the day here in the U.S., but perhaps early or late or whatnot in the rest of the world. So I'm really thankful to be here. And the final thing that I'd like to say is, as Joanna D'Angelo reminded, and you already said, Vanessa, is to our reflect and really bring to mind into our hearts the image of our guiding model, Jesus, right? How he gave so much attention to those in need. And we are those who are in need. So I think we need to give attention to one another more often. We need to really talk. We need to really open our hearts to one another so we can live better lives. So we cannot fall into the traps of the problem of politics, of all this, of that, and live a more fulfilling life. So those are my final words. And again, thank you for everything.
Thank you. And Rihanna is here with us, Adilson, Angelita, all these friends. So right now, Leo remembers that the Peace for Peace song when we did our Peace and New movement together many times in Baltimore, Maryland, etc., even in Washington, D.C. So here we have the Shepherds and Marco Magalhães, and actually your own children, Luciana and Juliana's voice are here, right, Leo?
Sure.
Were there singing on that event we did in Pennsylvania, and tribute to Selena Shepherd. Haroldo Dutra Dias was also there. So let us go.
Peace in the world begins with me. When I choose love, inside I'm truly happy. When we are kind to one another, we know true love and greatness in our hearts. The time has come for building peace on earth. We don't believe in the lack of love. Peace for peace. To our children, peace for peace. Our forest, peace for peace. And for the courage to transform. Peace for peace. In truth and justice, peace for peace. And in the freedom, peace for peace. And in the beauty of loving you. Peace in the world begins with me. When I choose love, inside I'm truly happy. When we are kind to one another, we know true love and greatness in our hearts. The time has come for building peace on earth. We don't believe in the lack of love. Peace for peace. To our children, peace for peace. For our forests, peace for peace. And for the courage to transform. Peace for peace. In truth and justice, peace for peace. And in freedom, peace for peace. And in the beauty of loving you. Peace for peace. For a new world, peace for peace. In faith and hope, peace for peace. And for the courage to transform. Peace for peace. in truth and justice, peace for me, and in a freedom, peace for me, and in the beauty of loving you, peace for peace. To our children, peace for peace. For our forests, peace for peace. And for the courage to transform, peace for peace. In truth and justice, peace for peace. And in a freedom, peace for peace. And in the beauty
Of loving you. Talking about love. Thank you, Leo. A big hug to you, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And thank you, friends. Tomorrow, God willing, today, less than 24 hours, we'll be together with another friend to continue working on exercises for peacemaking skills. Have a beautiful night or day.
Good night.